Welcome back to the Love Your Story podcast. We create. Every day we create. We create connections and chaos, possibility, drama, conversation, expectations, money, homes, relationships, works of art, friction, love, stories, or we don't. Our power lies in our ability to direct our life story with every choice and every thought. Welcome to the Love Your Story podcast and the 21 Life Connection Challenges, 21 life hacks that have been set up to help you connect, take care of your fabulous self, create possibility in your one and only life, and get out of the doldrums or the disconnection that's been lingering around lately. This series of podcasts highlight the challenges one by one and give you background on why the challenge was included in the 21 challenges in the first place. It provides a deeper understanding of the concept itself, shares ideas on how to implement it, and sometimes we pull in an expert to give her 2 cents on it. These simple challenges create big ahas and leave you with some great tools to play with in your life in creating your best life story. And today we are focusing on challenge number 9, which is take someone to lunch. Stay tuned for some yummy talk. Stories are our lives in language. Welcome to the Love Your Story podcast. I'm Lori Lee, and I'm excited for our future together of telling stories, evaluating our own stories, and lifting ourselves and others to greater places because of our control over our stories. This podcast is about empowerment and giving you, the listener, ideas to work with in making your stories work for you. Story power serves you best when you know how to use it. When Goldilocks carefully turned the doorknob on the cottage of the 3 bears, she was just looking for a little food. Too hot? Too cold? Just right? If you've spent much time alone, you know a meal isn't just right unless you're sharing it with good company. And if there's one thing that we all understand, it's the power of a good meal. It's one of the finest things of being alive. You mix the two, good company and good food, and it's just magic. It's really a beautiful space. My friends and I call it breaking bread together. One year, I did a cleanse. The premise was no food, but all the water and a few mix-ins that you wanted. What I noticed from the experience is that we as humans spend a lot of time focused on food. When we don't have to eat, we get a lot more time to do other things. Like there's no more lunch breaks or dinner hour. There's no grocery shopping, no meal planning, and interestingly, much less socializing. So suddenly I had like an extra 4 hours in every day. A lot of our lives are spent connecting over food. Welcome to challenge number 9 of the 21 Life Connection Challenges. Hopefully you've already tested 8 of the life hacks before this, and that you've already had some interesting experiences and some aha moments, because everybody does. How do I know that you've had that good stuff happen? Well, because I see it over and over with everyone who jumps on and does these challenges. So keep up the good work. You're one of the doers in the world. With challenge number 9, take someone to lunch, it's based on a 3-tier idea. The first is that we need human connection, and eating with friends or people we want to get to know is a casual and fun way to connect. And you could even take it further. What if you invited the other to lunch? Someone with different political ideas or a different religion, a culture that you didn't understand. But if you did this, you could get a peek into who they are, into what they believe, into why they think the way they do over a beautiful lunch. It creates possibility. Right now in our culture, there's a real world of division, whether it's politically or culturally, religiously, lots of belief systems clashing together, lots of fear. And with COVID, people have really been disconnected. And the purpose of all of these challenges, when you will do them and tune into them, is to create that connection. And they do it in small and simple ways. And this is one of them. This angle, particularly of finding someone that isn't just like you, creates a possibility of increased understanding and insight in a world where we really need that. So that's the first. The first is that we need human connection. The second tier is that treating someone to lunch is an act of generosity. It creates warmth and kindness in the world. It's good karma. By small and simple things are unexpected ripples started, and this act of generosity is one of those stones that you throw into the pond, and it creates things that you don't expect. So the third tier, we all love good food. Celebrate a delicious moment in your day because of all the time we spend there. We know for most of us, it's, we seek out food that we like. We take a minute to enjoy it. It's something that we spend a lot of focus on. So why not make an affair of it? With today's challenge, make an affair of this meal. Be present. And being present with good food is one of life's treasures. During COVID, the contemplation of the loss of taste and smell, it really brought home the tragedy of no longer enjoying that delight of good food. I did an interview earlier in the year, back in April of 2020, and it was an interview with a patient who had COVID, and he got on and shared the experience of what it was like to have it. And he did lose his sense of taste and smell. And he shared how difficult eating was after that because there was just nothing to enjoy. You would eat a little bit as you could stand to eat because you needed to survive, but the joy was taken out of it. And having that conversation with him and how it changed the nature of eating, wow, I just realized how tragic that loss would be. So something not to be taken for granted. Good food, connection, enjoying the little things, and making them a celebration. So this is what we're about today. Laurie Colwin said, quote, "One of the delights of life is eating with friends. Second to that is talking about eating. And for an unsurpassed double whammy, there is talking about eating while you are eating with friends." So, how to do this challenge? Choose someone that you don't usually take to lunch. Maybe it's someone that you've been wanting to get to know, or someone you need to connect with in your sphere of influence. What if it's someone that you love and you haven't spent much time with lately? Or a neighbor that you've been wanting to connect with? What if it's someone you've noticed doesn't have a lot of friends and could use a little social time? Or perhaps the other, as we talked about earlier in the situation, or earlier in the episode, someone with a different political view or a different ideology that you could learn their perspective. It never hurts to listen, right? We can always gain understanding. What if it's a lunch date with your child? That's another option. I think children really like feeling special. So now make plans to take them to lunch. Make sure they know that it's your treat. And that being said, if eating out is not your bag, there's nothing that says you can't cook and stay in. The first time that I did this challenge, I invited a colleague from the university over for soup and salad in my warm and homey kitchen. And we sat and we ate and we chatted and we caught up on a couple of years of academic thought and gossip. And in the end, those couple of hours were really a brilliant investment in my friendship and in that network and finding out what was going on since I'd left and just in life. As with all the challenges, enjoy the journey. Relish the preparation, extend an official invite, make it special this time around. We need more special moments, more good food, more time with good company, and an intent to connect. That deserves a special touch. So what does a special touch look like? Maybe it's a written invitation or a heartfelt verbal invitation where you're telling them that you want to spend special time with them. Maybe it's a special place setting at the table. Fine china? Someone's favorite restaurant that they haven't gone to in a while? Attention to detail? You decide. Even small touches make the moment stand out. Today, you get to create a connection of your own or set a date with someone to do so. And don't forget to come back to your book and record how the whole thing went down. Too hot? Too cold? Or just right? I'm betting it's the latter. Thanks for being here for a Love Your Story podcast. Go to loveyourstorypodcast.com for more great episode, for links to buy your own copy of the book, Life, Living Intentional and Fearless Every Day, if you don't already have yours. And there's also links there that you can sign your group up to do the challenges together.
This show is brought to you by the 21 Challenges Group platform. If you are a leader of a group, any type of group, book club, network marketing, employee group, a youth group, a friend group, and you're in need of a fun, fresh, positive way to connect during this disconnected time, we've got an online program that'll create fun, stretching connection and engagement with your team. Your team will get a fully immersive platform for the 21 challenges and weekly coaching with Lori Lee as we spend 3 weeks creating awesome possibility. LoveYourStoryPodcast.com and look for the group link.
We'll see you in 2 weeks for the next episode of the Love Your Story podcast. Thanks for being here.